Curtis, Dr. Magulula, Tom. Of course, hi, Matt. Hi, Craig.
Hey, hey. All right. Let's get it started. Welcome, 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 everybody. So great to see each and every one of you. It's 2025. Woo-hoo! And we're so glad to have you with us here at the start of the new year. Lots of great things are going to happen. Lots of great things to share on this very first AMA with the amazing Robert Hollis. Ask Me Anything. Um, I really, really appreciate each and every one of you as subscribers. I'm not going to say anything more because I'm going to leave that to Robert to share something very, very special. I have two things that I want to share. First of all, yesterday was a very special day because it was our executive producer and the son of Robert Hollis's, Matt Hollis, birthday. So I think in the tradition that we normally do here, we need to sing a rousing chorus of, let's see, here we go. Happy birthday. So I'm going to ask everybody to unmute right now as we all sing happy birthday to Matt Hollis. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Matthew.
Matt.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to you. Oh my gosh. Tom, that was awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Wow.
amazing.
Was not
Thank you guys so
expecting
much.
that
When you got a professional
falsetto.
opera singer that
I,
sings for you.
I mean, how do you beat that? How do you beat that for a happy birthday? Thank you
Exactly.
guys so much. Appreciate you.
You bet.
Hang on just a second, everybody. And there we go. We're going back to that. And of course, okay, good.
Got it.
Then, all right, let's do this. The other thing that I wanted to share before moving this along, Robert, please, if you'll indulge me for just about a minute to a minute and a half on this.
Sure.
I found a poem that is just incredible as we start this new year. It's like a poetry of self-acceptance. And it's by someone by the name of Aaron Hansen. And the poem is called Not, N-O-T. And here is the poem. You are not your age, nor the size of clothes you wear. You are not a weight or the color of your hair. You are not your name or the dimples in your cheeks. You are all the books you read and all the words you speak. You are your croaky morning voice and the smiles you try to hide. You're the sweetness in your laughter and every tear you've cried. You're the songs you sing so loudly when you know you're all alone. You're the places that you've been to and the one that you call home. You're the things that you believe in and the people who you love. You're the photos in your bedroom and the future you dream of. You're made of so much beauty, but it seems that you forgot when you decided that you were defined by all the things you are not.
Wow.
So I wanted to share that with everybody. I felt it was, I loved it when I read it, and I think it's a perfect way to start off our AMAs. Ask Me Anything. Now, it is Ask Me Anything, and we do ask for questions to ask for to Robert Hollis. Now, here's the way that you can do that. If you're watching us on Zoom or on YouTube, you can pose your question in the chat, and we will ask it on your behalf. But if you are watching on YouTube and you want to speak to Robert directly, very simple. Raise your hand. If you look on the middle of this, or if you put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see all these lovely faces, there's a button on the bottom of your screen that says raise hand. Click on that and we will call on you in the order in which we receive the question. That's how simple it is. So thank you for your indulgence. Let's get started because this is Ask Me Anything with Robert Hollis. So please welcome, for the first time, 2025, the amazing Robert Hollis.
Well, thank you so much, Craig, the hostess with the mostest. And it was fun yesterday. We did a podcast. If you guys don't get a chance to watch that with Craig and Matthew, and we got to celebrate his Matt's birthday yesterday. And we threw something out there in the universe. We were saying, wouldn't it be awesome if before midnight Matthew's time, if our YouTube channel, hit over 100,000 subscribers? We thought, man, wouldn't that be cool? And so that's exactly what we did. Now, if you hear my phrase, I think it's very, very important to say we did it. Yeah, my name's on the YouTube channel. But it's not only has the the amount growing, but also all our other stats. How many views we get a day. Some of the videos are just on fire. It's just really, really cool to have that. So here's some crazy stats I want to throw out to you guys. These are all stats online. And pretty interesting. There is currently right now 2.8 billion YouTube channels. 2.8 billion YouTube channels. Now, how many people know that YouTube is the second largest viewed site in the world? And so it got me to think, if it's the second most viewed site in the world, is it harder to get 100,000 people on YouTube or 100,000 people on Facebook? YouTube, way harder. It's like YouTube's harder to get 100,000 active people, subscribers, than any other channel out there, So now listen to this. I put in there, how many people have gotten over 100,000 subscribers? It's 0.0016. Let that sink in. So, the goal is to be maybe a 1%er for some people. I'm becoming very aware the older I get, and I now realize that 99.99% of people don't want to do anything. They're not going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be complacent. And guess what? I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. And so the other thing is I went in. So, there's this thing that they call active, right? So out of active YouTube accounts, we're in 0.6%. So, there's a percent of people on the planet, and then there's a 0.5%. It's like you get into that. So 0.6 is where we are as far as active people. And so there's only been 520,478 channels that made over 100,000 subscribers. But then it gets even crazier. There's only a million YouTubers out of 2.8 billion that have actually, listen, who have actually received a check. So 2.8 billion and 1 million have actually received a check. So that means that people have received a check from YouTube, and that amount is bigger than the people that hit 100,000 subscribers. Lisa Marie is already a YouTube person that's received a check. So congratulations to her. I don't know how many other people I see. Corky Santa on here, but hey, Corky, I don't know if you heard, we hit 100,000, 102,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so pretty awesome. So hello to each and every one of you. I see that Basil's on here. Hola from Sweden, Didi, Donwell, Peter and Linda, Grant, Daniel, Mike. So thank you all for being on here. I think Arthur, I don't know if I said your name, but that's one of the things I want to share with each and every one of you is that I did my message. I don't know if you guys watched the YouTube video I did on Christmas, on New Year's Day, 2025. And one of the things that I did is every year I do the same things to get me off and up and going, right? One of the deals, as I talked yesterday on the podcast, is that I gave away my personal copy of The Greatest Miracle in the World. I gave it to Joshua Daramella when I went to Dubai. He asked me to get a book for him. I forgot, and I wasn't going to show up empty-handed, so I gave away my book. So that was weird for me. It was really, really weird for me. And I talked about it on a video. And what someone did is they watch that video. They want to stay anonymous. You guys don't know them. But they said that touched them, that I gave away my personal book, that they sent me one of theirs. And it's the first edition. It was written in 1975. So look at the yellow pages on it. It's pretty amazing. And so to go from my copy to an original copy, and I was thinking, man, this is in pretty good shape to be original, so they must have more than one. And so you give and you get. So how many people would go, I'm not giving away my personal book? And now I can say that a complete stranger, because of one of my videos, sent me an original copy because my video touched them. So if anyone watches this video and you know of original hard copy, I'm joking. Not. All right. So, so here's the thing I want to share with you is that, of course, I read that book. I always get back to basics. And then, of course, I read The Science of Getting Rich. That always just realigns me. It just totally realigns me. And then the other thing I do is I listen to The Strangest Secret by by Earl Nightingale. Now, it was different for me today because when I watched it on the first, and I watched it, the very first thing I said to myself is when I Googled it, is how many people had that video on their YouTube channel. I was blown away. You put The Greatest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and there was just like 2 pages of YouTube of that audio. And I went, wow, maybe Nightingale Conant doesn't really do anything, right? Which, by the way, I have more subscribers than Nightingale Conant. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But so I told Matt to grab the video for me and put it on my channel so I could share it with all you guys, because that's another gift that I want to put. So Matt, if you're taking notes, make that as one of the gifts on roberthollis.com/gifts. So you drop it down in the center there. But if you guys listen to that, and I see Lisa Marie and a few people said 1 day, 2 day, they're starting to listen to it. It says to listen for 30 days. Do you guys realize that virtually everything that I've ever done was what the book or the author told me to do? I'm not one of those people say, this is what you should do. And I'm sort of rebellious in nature. And I go, oh, just because you said I should do it, I ain't doing it. But when the author says to do it. And so I thought it was very unique to just bring this up to each and every one of you going into 2025. And here's the deal. Is it says in a compact, in The Strangest Secret in the World, is the thing we think about the most is what comes to pass. All right? So the thing that I thought was used, I've heard it many, many times, but you guys all know when you listen to something over and over again, and maybe you leave it for a while and then come back, It's like if you ask somebody, what they wanted, what's their New Year's resolution? I need you guys to hear this. I've said this many, many, many times. If what you know that you think you know is not so, when do you want to know? So, do you guys know the word resolution? A New Year's resolution? If you look up the root of that word, it's resolve. And if you read up the definition of resolve, it means letting go. Letting go, dropping stuff that didn't work in 24, drop that shit and do new shit. So isn't it like the American public and the rest of the world to just change the meaning of what's your New Year's resolution? Oh, I want to lose weight. Oh, how did resolution turn into something that you want for 2025 instead of dropping the shit that doesn't work in 24? To me, that's a huge difference. That's huge. So when we find out that people don't do their New Year's resolutions, and by the 15th day of the month, majority of people say two things now. I don't set New Year's resolutions because I always fail them. And so the other ones are, I did set them, but I already messed up. And that, again, is setting goals that, according to this book I read many years ago, The Code to the Extraordinary Mind by Vijay Lakhani, that did the six-phase meditation, is goals are bullshit. Setting goals are bullshit. But yet there's all the videos that I've seen for 2025. What's your goal? What's your goal? What's your goal? There's nothing worse in the world than consistently setting things that you don't accomplish so you can just realize how much of an effing loser you are again. What a way to set your ass up for failure for 2025. So you guys know where I'm coming from. You don't set goals. You don't have a why to make you cry. You don't have a vision. You just each and every day have to remember to imagine. And I know this more than any time in my life. The people that can emotionally get involved with their imagination are the people that win. I imagine being super affiliate. I imagine being in the top 10 on the business from home. I'm imagined 100,000 subscribers. So when it happened yesterday, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And then I look at the stats, and here's another thing that I did to put myself in the top 5%, then the top 1%, and then the top percentage. So even if we just talked about the company that I've been with for almost 7 years, there's people right now knocking out ranks like crazy. But since I hit super affiliate, no one else has hit super affiliate. So to work for almost 2 years and hit 500K, do you know super's double 500K? I'm not bragging, but I was the last person to hit super affiliate with MDC. And then there's only 5 people that have gotten that plaque. So as long as they're giving awards away, I wanted to be one of the people to hit Mega Million. So now I got to do 5 times more volume than I ever have to hit master. Why not? So you guys may or may not know this, but Akashics will have 100,000 members by the end of this year. No doubt in my mind. I know the numbers. I know how fast it's growing. I know how much. Now, when you see the stats and you go, okay, so if they have 10,000 active people, there's 488. I posted a post today and Arthur put underneath there, which congrats to him, is I'm every one of these statistics. I'm not only a trader, I'm a funded trader, and I'm a person that pulled money out. Kai is one of those people. Isn't that crazy? How many people have gotten funded and pulled money out of TradeX Mastery? Okay, here's the point I'm making. Is you either imagine being part of that percentage or you fucking don't. So now let's go back to the strangest secret. Because if you ask people what they wanted to think about the most, we got this right. Here we go. Your 3 wishes. And you guys have heard me do this before. Every person I've done this to does not have the same 3 wishes I do. You know why people don't have the same 3 wishes I do? Is because they haven't thought about it enough. So one of my wishes is wisdom. Why would I want wisdom? Because according to some beliefs, if you have wisdom, you have everything. So that's like the top of my list. What else do I want? Love. Yeah, I want more love. So happy and grateful that love comes to me from multiple sources on a consistent basis and continue to grow. And then health. So it's like longevity, energy, vibration, frequency. So in the strangest secret, it's the first time I heard this, is it said, when most people were asked, they said they wanted success. I wish I could think about success more. And then he says right behind it, well, then don't you have to put your definition of success? See, if I asked every one of you what your definition was in designing your perfect day, if you don't take the time to design your perfect day, then 25 might end up exactly like a lot of other years. So 24 was better for me than 23. And 23 was better for me than 22. You guys are seeing, every one of my years are better than the last because it was intentionally done. It was intentionally imagined. So what if your definition for success is being a mom? See, I'd like to challenge every one of you, because I look at my wife, Terry, and I look at her and I believe in my heart that she's one of the most successful people I know. Because I remember when she was in a seminar for 5 days, sleep deprived. They did it on purpose, up for hours. And you were supposed to write down the things that meant the most to you. At that time, we weren't married. And she said, I want to be a great wife. I want to be a great mom. Other people had pages. At that time, we didn't have kids. And at that time, we wasn't married. So when stories are written about people, athletes, singers, whatever, someone getting an Academy Award, don't you find it interesting when people win things, they go, thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. Like, do you believe that those people had something to do with it? To some people, everything. I'm sure there's a dad every once in a while gets thanked. Right? And then if you really talk to some very, very well-accomplished males, they always talk about the woman that stood by their side. Pretty amazing, huh? And so I ask you moving forward in 2025 is don't wait for the whole rest of the year figuring out what you're going to imagine this year. Put on your imaginating powers and deliberately, with intent, imagine what 2025 is going to be for you. So in closing, I just want to bring up, I don't remember if I posted this in the Imaginators or the Inner Circle, but let me grab it here. I'll post it in this group here. I got this from Craig. I get all kinds of cool stuff from Craig and Matt, by the way. So you guys might have seen this posted. So there's two ways to look at 2025. I seen Curtis's shirt. And I have a really close friend of mine right now they don't know what's wrong with his heart, but he's in the hospital doing a bunch of tests. And he said, I hate getting old. And I said, I love every day I get. And he goes, Robert, this is a serious time for me. And I said, too bad you got to take your last moments on this planet thinking about how much it sucks. I know some of you have seen James Saunders' posts. You know, we do know one thing for a fact, we're all going to die. Maybe not. Maybe not. You know, hey, I'm very optimistic. So if I'm no longer here physically, I hope people go, oh my God, that guy was jacked out of his mind like he was never going to die. And then most people can say the thing they say about very few people. Well, at least Robert died doing what he loved most. Trying to inspire other people to imagine a better future for themselves and the people they love. What a concept. So when you read that and you realize mathematically that 25, oh, by the way, I put this in AI. So this wasn't just made up stuff. How many people have accidentally posted something that was bullshit? Okay, I've done it. I just did it the other day. I can't believe it. I thought I was over that. I actually sent it to a couple of people, went to AI and Google just to back it up. It was wrong, and then I went and deleted it, right? So, you know, when you think of it, the last perfect square was 1936. 1936 was the last year. That was all mathematically. And then Jody posts that 420 is on Easter. What a great year. What a great year, 420 on Easter. You know what I mean? So I just got chills. My wife's birthday, for those of you that don't know, right? So all the things that I'm looking forward to is 2025 will be the best year that I personally have ever had. And my goal for the whole entire year is to make each and every one of you try to remember that. And so one of the things I did post in the Imaginators and the Inner Circle of people that I communicate with directly on Telegram is, you know, when Mel Robbins came on, excuse me, and just recently wrote a book called Let Them. Craig, you can post that in here. How many people I know there's 3 or 4 people that sent me a message going, I already pre-ordered the book. So in theory, it sounds easy. But the best part of that interview that I shared was her 20-year-old daughter saying, wow, this book changed my life. I helped my mom research it. Because most every moment at everyone's day is destroyed by people wanting them. And the other word for 2025 is assume. For those of you that, I used to say unrealistic expectations. That's too big of a word for Robert Hollis. So I did some AI stuff, and it's us assuming. And if you break the word down, write it out, and draw a line between the S and the M and the E and the U. So when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And so instead of unrealistic expectations, why do we spend most of our time focus on the strangest secret, thinking about stuff and assuming why other people won't do the shit we want them to do? You'll watch people steal their joy so fast. It's like, well, the president's not doing this, and the government's not doing this, and my spouse is not doing this, and my kids are not doing this, and my boss sucks, and the potholes in the road. Why is it that every moment of your life is destroyed because you assume people should do what you think they should do? It totally puts you out of control. So I'll leave you with this statement. It was funny. My wife and I watched a comedian. His name is Sebastian. He's just hilarious, man, from New Jersey or New York. And he was talking about, he was running on a treadmill at a gym. And there was 8 treadmills. And he goes, how many of you guys know that person that comes in and they got to get in the treadmill right next to you? And he said, the next thing is, you ever seen all the pockets and the holes that they have for stuff in a treadmill? Well, I was going, why do you need this many holes and this many pockets? Well, I met the guy that filled every one of them. He had his phone, he had his, his water bottle, he had all this stuff. And then he said, not only that, I've never seen anyone run so fast on the treadmill in my life. And he not only was a fast runner, but he was a loud runner. He said throughout the whole gym, you could hear. And he said in the middle of that, all of a sudden he decided to go sideways. He turned it down and he was doing side steps on it. And which way was he faced? To me. He said it ruined my whole freaking gym time. So he said, when I got home, I had to tell my wife about it. And she said what she always says to me. Why can't you just focus on you? And he said, I thought a little bit. And then I said to her, because I'm great at finding people that piss me off. I was going, holy shit, I know a lot of those people. He says, I find people that irritate me. I find people that are always doing shit they're not supposed to do. Now, wait a minute. This is a comic routine. He was telling a joke. But everyone in the audience was fucking laughing their ass off. Why? Because we all do it. We don't mean to do it. We don't look at the person and find the people on social media that makes us laugh, that inspires us, that lifts our souls, that are doing great things and touch our heart, make us get a tear in our eye. No, we find the people that piss us off. Why do they gotta post this? Why do they gotta say this? And then what do we think about? So on the podcast yesterday, woohoo, perfect year, 2025, everything's so positive. And then we jump on the news. And it's like, did you hear about this idiot that drove down Bourbon Street, New Orleans, killed all these people? And we got this other guy that blew his truck up in front of Trump Tower. 24 hours a day, they never miss a fucking minute. Telling us, well, we started 2025, but look how fucking bad this shit is. Boy, if I haven't shared this with all of you, the second that you get any joy or happiness and fulfillment in your life, Darth Vader and his team is there to steal it fucking immediately. Wasn't just on the news channel. It's on every social media. Hey, Happy New Year. Now there's a bunch of people killing people. So I'll leave you with this. Google this. And don't forget it. AI it. Send the message and say, how many people die a day? How many people die a day? It used to be over 200,000. Last time I looked, it was like 170,000. How many people can get excited about 30,000 less people dying a day? Apparently not some people. And in the midst of the best year you're ever going to have, if you decide to, we find out that they're now going to put warning labels on alcohol because they just figured out that alcohol also causes cancer. Just like cigarettes. Yeah, I don't know if that warning worked, and I don't know if this one's going to work. But I know that alcohol consumption last year went down by 12%. Guess what was the number one contributor to alcohol consumption going down? People can't afford it. Hey, you used to drink all the time. Why don't you anymore? I can't afford it. Boy, let's really get depressed, huh? How many years you been sober? 5? Why? Well, in 2023, 24, the economy was so bad, I quit drinking, and I really never figured out a reason why I should start up again. So, there's two groups of people at the end of 2025. Is I will imagine and get into a positive emotional state where my hair stands up on my body to make sure that 25 makes 24 look like I didn't do anything. So a year ago, I had 7,400 subscribers. A year before that, I didn't have enough subscribers to make my channel monetized. So shit can happen fast when what you think about the most in a blink of an eye. Now I get to say to all the people that everybody says, well, have you heard of this person? Have you heard of Ray? Have you heard of Todd? Have you heard of Danny? Have you heard of Frazier? Have you heard of Rob? Have you heard of these guys? Yeah. How many YouTube subscribers do they have? Let me go look. They got 50,000. Well, I have 102,000. So now I thought, wow, the goal was one day to have more subscribers than a lot of people that think they know how to teach people to do this business. Now I got to focus on the other people that say they're life coaches. Yeah, it's just me, you know? And I talked to one guy this year that I got something new. Yeah, I can do more. I can think bigger. I got to have this constantly reminding me. Because if thoughts are things, and we know they are, then when you go, well, Robert, how do you get subscribers? It's really simple. Just thinking that you fucking can't do it. Yeah, but I don't want. Hey, don't say anymore. Don't do it. Yeah, but I don't want to reach out to people. I want them reaching out to me. Yeah, just don't do any fucking content worth value. Sit around and whine and fucking complain. I like when my stalkers reach out to me. I've been watching your YouTube channel blow up. What are you doing? I'd like to get involved with you. Yeah. Instead of, hey, I seen your whining, complaining post on social media. I was wondering what you're doing. Yeah, I'd love to get involved with you. Seems like life sucks. I want to be a part of that. All right. I love you guys. 2025 is going to be the best year ever. I just need you guys to know, not being mean, I got a lot of children to take care of. The orphanage is important to me. I need to make them more. So 2025, you guys are going to look at what I did in 2024, and I promise you, it's easily going to go up by 10 times. So the goal is master. That's 50,000 active subscribers. I know all of you said, well, Ross, you said 10,000. I'm already 5. Then I watched a video of kickoff in 2025. And now there's people putting in 1,000 new active trainers a month. Simon, this new guy out of nowhere, hit 250K in his first 30 days. I'm so happy for Maddie Pips and Joey Wilson, but I don't want them to have all the people that are going to come over here. I need a few of those Simons in my group. I got Tomas out of Poland. I got a new guy you guys will see very, very quickly. It's like this guy was a 29-year veteran with a company. He reached out to me. He's now working with me. Went 5K in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So find people with influence. So with that, we're going to answer some questions. I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening to my little encouragement. Wasn't really a rant. But back to you, Craig.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much, Robert. I mean, I love what you shared and getting us started for the year. A couple of other quick things to bring up before we get started. Coach Bob, your hand's up. So is Jody Falcon. We're going to get to you really quick. I got to give it out to Jody Falcon, first of all, for the first donation on the Super Chat. So Jody, thank you so very much. If you want to donate on the Super Chat on YouTube, go ahead and click the $ below the chat. It's in a little box, and then go ahead and enter the amount. All the money that we collect in the Super Chats goes to the charities that Robert supports, the orphanages that Robert had briefly mentioned there just a minute ago, and they will go to those people. So thank you very much, Jody, and everyone who does donate. The second thing I wanted to bring up, Jamie Romine, just, our poet laureate, I'm going to say, because he's done so many poems here. I only was able to read a poem, but he creates them. So, Jamie, thank you for sharing this in the chat, and I also posted it in both chats. As I shut the door on 2024, I'm more alive in 2025.
Jamie, man, if you can put the one in you did last week, I thought I copied it and I thought I copied it and put it in my notes, but I didn't.
Okay, so Jamie, find that one and post it in the chat. We'll go ahead and share that as well. All right, let's get started. Ask me anything. That's what it's all about with the amazing Robert Hollis. The first one who had their hand up that I see is Coach Bob. So, Coach Bob, go ahead, unmute, and please share with us.
Happy New Year to all
Happy New Year.
And Craig, Robert, Matt, if he's on. Congratulations on the subscribers. I know it's going to keep continuing. I'm excited for you. I'm excited, just as excited as you are about that. My question is so you have a whole bunch of things you need to do, but you get distracted and you lose track and you lose focus. And then, like certain days I won't do my 6-phase meditation, or I won't read, and I get off track. What do you do to get back on track? To get back where you were, like a month ago,
The first thing I would ask you to do, Bob, is just ask yourself that same question. Me, I punish myself. I really, really do. There's things that I love to do, and if I'm not willing to stay focused and be consistent, then I don't get to watch my MMA fights. There's things that I love that I'll penalize myself. There used to be this deal where you put a rubber band on your wrist and you pull it out and you snap it.
Sure.
You have to realize that the habit is there, and if you're aware that it's there. As you were talking, what downloaded to me was hopefully there's not a lot of people that will resonate with this because it's sort of spooky, but it was given to me, so I'm giving it to you, Bob. But all of us have been driving too long. And you're driving and you're tired. And you have one of those things where you startle yourself. You know what I mean? I mean, startle yourself. And it's like, God, I don't know how long I've been driving. And I dozed off. And what do, man? Roll down the windows, your head out the window, maybe pull over, walk around your car, something. Try to figure out, where you can get some, caffeine or no-dos we used to use. But it's one of those things that startle you. And the reason that came to me is because it was important that you were getting to a destination. So it's important, Bob, not to beat yourself up if you're constantly being distracted, but you're also okay. See, there's there's a lot of people that probably haven't finished stuff they wanted to do, like me. I got involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I don't know, it just was the wrong timing for me. And so I went a couple of times, then didn't go anymore. I'm not mad at myself. I'm not mad at myself for not completing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or not making it to crew chief. There's a lot of imaginations that I had in my life that for whatever reason, something distracted me and got me to go a different direction. So you got to be very, very careful, because a lot of us, I feel, are doing things that are not for us, but we're just doing them because everybody else is. You know, the compare-itis kind of thing. You know, well, that person's doing that and that person's doing that. And, you know, you've heard me have this conversation with Matthew. It's like if you're doing a lot of things and you're distracted in doing all those things, in my opinion, you haven't found the thing to keep your attention. Is that fair? Because
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I'm
yeah,
imagining, you imagine all these things, Robert, right? I mean, just tons of things you want to do, and it's just it's just how are you going to complete all these things? You know, like you said, jujitsu, right? You would have loved to do that, but something else came.
yeah. I have just always found. See, if people want to know what the biggest thing for me, it's not just freedom, but it's actually the thing inside my mind that I've created of how free I am. And so freedom to me is I get to do what I want when I want. You know, I can tell Terry to reach out to Hannah and Matt, figure out the date that we're going to go to California to spend some time with them. They figure out the date, and I get to go on Delta and get round trip first class tickets for free because I have a diamond status and I have so many freaking miles. And the thought of getting an Airbnb is not a thought. It's just, where would we like to be? We're not thinking about price. I'm also not thinking about time. When should we go? How long should we stay? I don't care. So it's that lifestyle that I've been accustomed to, that I designed for myself, that's super important to me. And so when I think of that lifestyle and that freedom, and then I think about also giving money to orphans and taking care of my family, then the thing that gives me the most joy is finding people that I can inspire to imagine a better future for themselves. And unfortunately, I now know that the majority of the people, 99% of them, that they won't be able to fall in love with that. So they'll get distracted or listen to other people tell them what they should or shouldn't do. So why the YouTube channel has been so easy for me is I get to focus on one thing: subscribers. I want someone to click on a button and become a subscriber. I don't need them to do anything else. I don't need them to like something. I don't need them to comment. In fact, most of the people that comment on our YouTube channel are people that are not subscribers. Think about that one. That one's bizarre.
Yeah.
So the videos have to be exciting enough that when people see the video, they go, I love this content. It made me feel good. I'm fucking subscribing. Bam. But they're not going to leave a comment. Very few of them will go to another video. I can see all this. And so when you're focused on just getting subscribers, because that's what they give a plaque away for, it's like, what do I need to do? What do I have to say? What kind of content do I need to create for them just to be a subscriber? And through those subscribers, some people see other videos and then they reach out to me and say, hey, what do you got? I've been watching a few of your videos. I've been stalking you. So for me, I always look forward, right? So when I'm saying, okay, so what am I going to do 3 years from now? Because that's a 6-phase meditation. What's my imagination 3 years from now? Because now it's no longer 27, it's 28. It just moved on me. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what's the perfect day that I'd want to create in 2028? Who do I want around me? what am I going to do those days? What would I like to do? And then I think, okay, I need to find something that I enjoy doing to fulfill that imagination. And so for me, there's not a lot of things. So even think a little deeper, Bob. Think about the things within the thing. Like there's some people that are involved in this industry that just love selling product. I aren't one of them. Imagine.
Right. I know,
Okay.
right.
But I sure like having thousands of them in my group.
Right.
And I'm not going to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. If they love using the product, doing before and after testimonials, getting other people to do testimonials, and you guys are really, I know that some of you have been around me for years, are seeing a huge difference in it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm no longer telling people that they should do what a 1%er or a 0.6%er does, or a 0.006%er does.
Right.
Because I'm okay with everyone just doing what the fuck they want to do. Now, I think myself that we were put on this planet to make an impact and really be impactful in other people's lives. And some people just lie to themselves and say that they are, but they don't have any evidence of ever touching anybody's life in a positive way. So they just lie to themselves and they keep saying that they're doing shit and they do a bunch of activity and a bunch of distractions. And you can tell they're unhappy because you can look at their social media or you can talk to them for 30 seconds and immediately see that they have no imagination. But that's just for me to tell people. Then they have to work on it. So when you say to me, I'm just distracted doing a lot of stuff and I get mad at myself for being distracted, that just tells me that you're doing things that you think you should do instead of doing the thing that you love to do.
Right.
So a lot of us have a job and we do that because, hey, everybody else has a job. In The Strangest Secret, I forgot that it was in there. I use that example all the time. They went out and did a poll of 100 men, asking
Repeat
them
that
why
again,
they're
Robert.
acting.
You were garbled. Please.
Okay. In The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale's voice. They said they went out and talked to 100 men and asked them why they went to work. I don't know. That's the planet. That's everyone on the planet. So what? People are either doing things because they don't know why they're doing them because everybody else is doing them. That's a sheeple, right?
Right.
And then you got the other people that, geez, just I'm so tired of this person being worth $1 billion and then 5 billion and then 50 billion and then 100 billion and then 200 billion and then 400 billion. It's like some people aren't focused on the money. they're just focused on getting shit done.
Right.
And so that's what I would tell you. Instead of beating yourself up for being distracted, why not simply ask yourself, why is it so easy for me to be distracted from doing these things? And if you ask yourself that question, I think that it would come back with, to be brutally honest, I don't like doing this shit.
Right. That's the truth.
Okay, so then why am I doing this shit? Well, I need to do something.
Right.
Well, there's people that make money from skipping rocks. See, so
Right.
that's a similar to conversation that I had with Matt. I'm just like, your mind gets caught up. Well, I gotta do thing to make money. I don't know. Do you? Well, I should make
Yeah, you
money.
should. Yeah.
Really? Because there's some people that come up with an inspirational idea and they share it with the real world, and then those people throw money at them. And the next thing they know, they have a company, and then they take it public, and then there's millions and millions of people that buy their stock. And then overnight, they're worth $400 billion, and no one knows how it happened. But there sure is a large group of people pissed off at them. I, I always think that's so bizarre. The person has an idea, an imagination, tells a bunch of people, and people go, fuck, this guy might pull it off. Here's 100 million. Here's 10 million. Here's 20 million.
Elon Musk, yeah.
It could be a lot of names.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of names. The book Think and Grow Rich, they interviewed 500 people, the most influential and successful people of the time. And one of the principles is OPM. Everybody thinks we got to have money to make money. Bullshit. You made that shit up because all the 500 people in that book shared their idea, their imagination with somebody else. And a person said, well, if I give you $1 million, what percentage of the company will give me? Because when you see someone that's that passionate about their imagination and you got money, well, what are the people did that didn't have money? They were inspired by that person. They go, you need help? Well, I never even thought of it. Well, listen, can you afford to pay me? Not right now. Well, listen, I'm going to spread this idea around, and when you get some investors, can you pay me? I'd like to work for you. I'd like to make this shit happen. So now you got Steve Jobs, and you got all these people that connected with people that said, I want to work for you. I want to make this shit happen. You know, there was someone that said something the other day about X. They brought something up about X. And Elon Musk put his CEO of X in a chat with them. I'm going like, that was fucking brilliant. That was a great idea. Listen, let me connect you with my CEO. Get that idea to her. Wait a minute, you're not gonna? No, I got people that run these department heads that are way smarter than me. What the hell? What the hell? So I hope that helped you.
Oh, it did. Sure, it sure did. I want to thank you
if
so
I
much.
asked you, I'm gonna throw something at you that just came right before I got on this Ask Me Anything. And this is gonna be weird for you because I've never asked anybody this question before.
Sure.
Maybe I have, but I don't think I have. If I asked you, and I don't want an answer, by the way, I just want you to think about it. If I asked you, Bob, when was the lowest of the lowest moments in your life? The fucking worst. Because I got that question and I didn't have an answer. And the reason I didn't have an answer, you guys, is because I've been able to find a silver lining to every fucking thing that's ever happened to me. Was it bad at the time? Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty awful at the time. And then I look back as you connect the dots moving forward, I'm going, boy, that was timely. That was, for me, divinely timed out. So before I graduate from high school, anybody got anything to say? No. Mr. Hollis, stand up for your sentencing. Okay. I sentence you to 5 years in a federal penitentiary, 3 suspended, 2 to serve. Take him away. Have a couple guys grab me, handcuff me, throw me in the back of a vehicle, and drive for 4 hours to Bismarck, North Dakota. Put me in a federal penitentiary. Take all my clothes off, do all kinds of stupid shit. and put me in coveralls, orange coveralls with no underwear and a blanket and a pillow and pushed me into a cell and shut the cell. That was brutal. Man, was it a blessing. Holy shit. I was going down the wrong track, wide open. Because I got to make all the excuses and be the victim and the blamer and no way, the world is against me. I took a lane that I wasn't supposed to get on, and guess what? For that area, I became a one percenter. Being a one percenter on the wrong track, that ends up putting you in prison forever, if not killed. So it was very necessary. I was on a track. I didn't know how to get off. And I think I even sort of, you ever look at things that happen in your life and go, I think I was trying to figure out how to get out of here. I was trying to figure out how to set it up and get the hell out of here. I needed something new in my life. So I think you needed to hear that. So go back and look at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and ask yourself what made that decision where you thought this was supposed to be the right decision. And then if it is, then just fucking be the best at it. I mean, there's a lot of people making a lot of money in this world that are floating around in the 70% range. In fact, a majority of the people in my group are in the 70% group. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love them. I just need 100,000 of them. I don't need any producers anymore. I need people to be the best they want to be.
Yeah.
I don't care if they sell anything. I don't care if they recruit anybody. I don't care if they get one subscriber on social media. I don't care. I do care if they're happy. So I can just tell them the things that I do, and I'll listen to the Strangest Secret for 30 days again. I'll reread The Greatest Miracle in the World. I'll re-listen to this, the greatest miracle. The Science of Getting Great. I'll go through that shit again, get new stuff out of it.
Thanks so much, Robert. Oh God. Yeah.
You bet.
It was a big relief. Yeah. Cause I beat myself up and but I shouldn't do that. I got to do the things I love,
Yeah.
And financially I'm in good shape, so it's not a big deal.
Well, what if it was funny where all of a sudden your wife and the people that know you the closest, and they're going, so what are you doing? And you're like, I decided to go to a sporting goods store and get a compound bow. Why? I was thinking about getting really good at archery and getting to some archery tournaments. And people are going, what is wrong with you? Well, I don't know if this is it for me, but I should know probably in like a month or so. No, that wasn't it. What are you doing now? It's like, golly, how many people on the planet? I wonder if AI can answer that question, Matt. How many people on the planet are doing exactly what they want to do? How old are you, Bob?
61.
Isn't it time to figure that out?
I feel like a kid though, Robert. I really do. I love like you said, I love imaginating, getting new things. AI has changed everything, right?
Geez. Yeah.
So
that's what I was telling Matt. Sometimes if you're on the ride and it hasn't been exposed to you yet, what one of those lanes that you're taking, why is that a bad deal? See, it's like if you get up in the morning and you can't wait to dive in and learn more about something, whatever that thing is. And that's my deal, is how fast can I get people to imagine again?
Oh God, Robert. Yeah. And AI,
Yeah.
you know, just the other day I'm writing code with AI and this Python, and I'm throwing it in, I'm trying to win the lottery. So, you know, it's just these creative things come in my head. So I took all the past data and I put it in and I made a code for it, and I used Synergy and I was doing all this stuff, but you know, that's the point I was trying to get to. You know, I go off the
Well,
path
yeah,
here.
well, maybe this thing is just beating you up too much.
Yeah, maybe that
Maybe there's
is.
something out there going, geez, Bob, shouldn't you be fucking doing something with your life?
Right.
And you're like, I am. Not everyone. I don't think that everyone was elected to be a role model or be a leader or you know, sometimes, like I said with the strangest secret, you know, Terry, my wife, is one of the most fulfilled people I know. And I know her so well that I know when she's not happy. And she also knows exactly what would make her happy. And that's what we do. I can tell when things are not paper. And I'm going, what's up? She goes, Rob, I really miss Hannah and Matt. Well, let's go see them. When? Well, now. Well, I thought you were busy. No. But you look busy. I'm always fucking busy. But I also will take time to make you happy. Do I need to see Matt and Hannah? I would love to see them. So, and she says the same thing to me all the time. You always seem like you're so focused doing something that I don't want to stop that focus. I was going, nah, I'm just good at focusing. I can focus on making sure I get plane tickets and an Airbnb. And it's like when we make the decision, it's like it was all done like in a couple hours. Got a date, got the airplane tickets, got the Airbnb, everyone's excited.
That's awesome. You could do that without feeling guilty, you know, where you put this
Okay.
burden on yourself. You know what I mean? It's so good that she can say that and then you do it, you know.
Yeah. And then people immediately reach out to me and go, are you going to the UK? Are you going to London? No. Well, I thought you said you were going. Well, until I figured out I was doing something else. It's like, hey, making Terry happy and making Hannah and Matt and myself happy. That family's first. Family's priority over everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that might be another thing, you know, really, really every once in a while, you know, make sure you stay in touch with the people that mean the most in your life and see how they can do it. I'm constantly connecting with my sons, asking them, you know, how can I help you? What can I do for you? That gives me a lot of life too.
That's awesome.
Cool, Bob. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much. Love and
I love you,
appreciate
man.
you.
I love
Yeah,
you.
me too. Back at you. Craig too. And Matt, I don't know if he's on, but love all you guys. And
You're the best. You're okay. You're fine.
thank you. Coming
bet,
from
you
you,
bet.
that means a lot. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks, Coach Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, couple of quick things here before we head over to Jody. The quote that Jamie had previously is similar to what I quoted earlier. He said, "As I thrive to be alive, I'll strive in the year 2025."
Nice.
So, thank you,
Please,
Jamie.
please.
Actually, go ahead.
Please post that in a Telegram group to me.
I will, definitely. And actually, that was also helped by Melody Ryba. She helped find that. So
Thank you, Melody. I love ya. You've been on my mind. I'm going to call you today or tomorrow. Tomorrow.
All right. Matt, did you want to share something? Because you look like you're about ready to open up here.
No, I just finished eating my chicken fried rice. So no, that's why my camera was off.
Okay. Well, because Robert asked about the job satisfaction kind of thing. And I looked it up on ChatGPT, and it says it's a little bit long, but I'm going to paraphrase it. The number of people doing exactly what they want to do is difficult to quantify because it depends on personal definitions of fulfillment, opportunity, and circumstances. However, surveys on job satisfaction and life satisfaction can give us a sense of how many people feel aligned with their desires. Gallup surveys on job satisfaction, typically only about 20 to 30% of people worldwide report being engaged or highly satisfied in their jobs.
There it is.
Yeah.
And that stat has always been so high ever since I got involved in this industry. And this is all my mentor said to me. All you're looking for is dissatisfied people. If you can find dissatisfied people with their free time, the amount of income they're making, the amount of fulfillment, their relationships, all you're looking for is people that are dissatisfied, that are willing to change. See, a lot of people are dissatisfied. They just ain't going to do anything. So I used to take a lot. How you guys can ruin things in your life is you know how you do it. It's the same way I do it. It's like I consistently keep mentally, pardon my language, but not really. I keep mentally fucking myself by wanting things for other people more than they want for themselves. It's what Les Brown said in his speech that gave him cancer. Is he was able to talk to a therapist that didn't know him. And she said, "Why are you so uneasy?" And he's going, "Do you know who you're talking about?" She says, "Yeah, I'm talking to a person that's trying to not die from cancer." She had no idea who Les Brown was. And she goes, "There's something that really is bothering you. You're uneasy. You're dis-ease. If we don't figure out what you're uneasy about." And through therapy, he was able to say, "I've done all these things for all these people, but the people that I love the most, I can't do anything for them." And she looked at him right in the face and said, "Oh, so you're putting your value and your worth in people that don't want to participate in their own rescue." Holy shit. But that's the way it always is, isn't it? We don't look at the people that want to be a part of our lives. We focus on the people that don't want fucking anything to do with us. And then we whine and complain about that. When there's a bunch of people out there go, "Man, I would love a second of your time. I would love a message from you, an acknowledgement from you." That's that is why Corky does so well. Corky does so well because they come on and Corky makes them feel. End of story. End of story. Ding. And it's like, no, I'm not going to talk to anybody because I'm pissed off. Why are you pissed off? Well, because my husband won't do this. Oh, so you're not going to be anything to anyone because of your spouse or because of your children or because of someone did something to you. It's crazy, isn't it? It's like, no, we cut ourselves off from the rest of the world because somebody doesn't want to participate in their own rescue. That's mind-boggling, but I've been there. So the reason that my coaching business, Life Mechanic, I used to be an auto mechanic. Now I'm going to be a life mechanic. That business failed for me because of me. Unlimited Profits, another company that I built, didn't work because of me. Because I wanted results from the people that were using it. And I said to myself, It's like no one's making any money doing this. A couple of people are, but no one else is. And for that reason, I quit doing it because I believed it sucked. I destroyed it from assuming that the wisdom that someone taught me, the wisdom that I seek for, oh my God, I'm glad this came up. Whether you're a believer or not, I've been hit in the face 3 times really, really hard with this scripture. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and it shall be opened. Search and you shall find. That was in The Strangest Secret. Then it was on my little calendar that I got years ago from D'Angelo. It's my scripture of the day. And then I just heard it again, I think in the Mel Robbins view. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened. You're just not doing enough asking. You're not doing enough seeking. You're not doing enough knocking on other doors. You're just not doing it. Well, I don't want to do it. Then it's very simple. Curtis and I had a great conversation. And it really simply is this. If what you need to accomplish to make you happy, and once you figure it out, if you're now looking at someone that's already done it and you're not going to do what they're going to do, find a fucking different way. So I've noticed Curtis forever. Feels like Curtis has been a friend of mine forever. And the way that I attract people and the way that I do what I do to build a large organization that makes me millions of dollars, Curtis is not willing to do that. He doesn't like it. He doesn't believe he'll be successful at it. So he just doesn't do it. And so he reached out to me, which a lot of you guys do. You guys reach out to people asking them what you should do when you should ask yourself. Stop reaching out to people and saying, Craig, what should I do? And Craig says, well, if I were you, I'd do this, this, and this. And your first thought in your head, well, that ain't fucking happening. Well, why are you fucking asking people? Why are you asking people what to do? And as they're telling you, you go, fuck no. And then you wonder why you're not doing it. Well, I sure make money trading. I'm going to reach out to Arthur. Arthur, what should you do? Well, I listened to the videos and then I started working on my own feelings on how I should do it. And that's what I did. Well, I ain't watching any fucking videos. That ain't happening, but I need to make some money. Guess what's wrong with Robert Hollis? See, now I'm making money trading. Why? Because I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it my way. When I feel good about taking a tap to trade, I do. I still follow Just Joel. Why? Because it's my way. First song that popped in my head, I did it my way. This is my way. And the tap to trades that I take, I like opening up Trade Locker, and I love watching them. I love watching them. Now I get this large group of people that say to me, well, Robert, tap to trade was designed so you don't have to watch them. That doesn't work for me. You know why it doesn't work for me? Because I don't have good thoughts. I hit tap to trade, I walk away from it, and I go, it's fucking diving, man. I'm going to wake up and lose my, no. He wins 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. So what if he loses? I don't want to lose. I'm a sore loser. I take 6 trades, I win. I take 2, I lose, I quit. So I know what I'm okay with losing. So far, it's $100.
Repeat that one more time, please. You garbled.
Yeah. I know what I'm comfortable in losing. I know that number. It's usually like a tip that I'll leave somebody. I don't care what the bill is. I'll leave them $100, $150. It's just what I do. So I'm okay with losing 150. So I do tap to trade. I watch it. It gets to 150. I'm out. I'm out. Don't think about it anymore. Don't go back and look at the numbers. What could I have possibly lost? I don't know. I'm done. And then when I'm watching it go up, I'm just watching it. And it goes like 70, 80, 130, 130, 117, 130, 117. I just keep watching it. I go, yeah, right there. Bam, I'm out. 300, I'm out. 317, I'm out. 15 in a row. Bam, 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 bam. Had one trade. Terry was tired. Let's go to sleep. 10:30. I looked at the trade and I went 74 negative. I made 4,600 bucks. I'm just going to trust him. Went to sleep. As soon as I walked away from my computer, my thoughts went, that was stupid. Go back there and shut it off. Now he wins. I'm going to leave it alone. Got up in the morning, 1,200 negative. And immediately I said, I went against every gut feeling I had. Every gut feeling I had. And when I woke up, I already knew I lost. What did I check? To confirm my thoughts. I wasn't mad at anybody. I was mad at me. So what if it was 70 negative? I should have just went out. Now I learned. Now I learned. So that's just on one thing. But if I'm not gonna, if I try to trade like everybody else, you know what I'll do, you guys? I just won't trade. If I have to watch videos before I can trade, I'm just not gonna trade. If I have to get on live sessions and do manual trades, for now, right now, where I am in my life, I'm not gonna do it. So I did exactly what I shared with Bob. I said, okay, how would you trade? What would make you comfortable trading? Well, I feel comfortable doing tap to trades. Then what would make you comfortable? Watching it. And I'll get off this and we'll get to Jody. I think I said this to you guys before, but I'll say it again. If someone is driven a certain car around a racetrack, and they've done it more than you, you are not going to feel comfortable in that passenger seat. Is there any one of you that know that when you're in the passenger seat of the car, there's certain individuals that you do not like driving with? For some of you, like Terry, that's everybody, right? But for those of you that have a big ego, I'm not bragging here. I'm just stating a fact. For those of you that have a big ego, I can guarantee you I can get you scared. I guarantee it. I'll get you to go, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. That's not to brag. That just means that I've done some of this stuff a little more than you. Well, that's the way Joel and some of these traders are in trading. They're like looking at it and going, oh my God, lost $8,000. I don't care. 8,000 is not comfortable for me. 150 is comfortable for me. So if it starts going negative, I'm gone right away. I'm just out of there. I'm not willing to feel that. I don't want to experience that. Is this helping you guys? And then I see other people winning and they're following different traders and they're doing NOS, and some people are trading crypto, and some people are doing other stuff. If you like it and you're enjoying it, keep doing it. Some people are not like me. They don't go, well, I'll do tap to trades. I'll make 300, 400, maybe 100. It'll take me like, Arthur's great with numbers. He's going, Robert, you keep this up in a couple of months, you'll pass your challenge. I'm okay with that. Some people get on a freeway, do 55, some do 70. Some people do 120, 150. I'm not bragging, you guys. It's sort of stupid when I say this, but I've actually gotten traffic tickets for 150. Trying to get home for 4th of July. Fly into Salt Lake City. They cancel my flight. I want to be home for 4th of July, so I go rent a car. And I drive from Salt Lake City to Laurel, Montana. Doing pretty good. All of a sudden, 2 semi trucks got next to each other. So I just shot up the shoulder of the road. Didn't slow down. Did it right before an overpass. And a highway patrolman was sitting on the top of the overpass. The thing that made him most mad is he says, when most people see a highway patrolman, they slow down. And I said, I didn't know if you're really serious about getting back to your family for 4th of July. And he goes, you're serious? Yep. Told my boys I'd be there for 4th of July. My flight got canceled. It wasn't going to get there in time for me to light off fireworks. So I understand you got to do what you got to do. I made a stupid decision. I drove recklessly. For me, it wasn't reckless. Me, it wasn't reckless. He says, well, instead of taking you to jail for reckless driving, I'm going to charge a ticket. He says, because it's so big, you got to show up and pay it. I said, okay. He goes, do you know where the courthouse is? I said, I do. I'll find it. And he said, okay, you got to go there and pay it. Got in his car and turned around and went the other direction. Missed the courthouse, went all the way to Laurel. So now I got a warrant for my arrest. Well, it's easy. Just don't drive in Utah. So years, I'd pull up to the border, let Terry drive through Utah. Then a few years later, they reached out to me and said, you need to take care of this warrant. I said, the reason I haven't taken care of the warrant is because I'm not going all the way to the courthouse. Well, if we catch you, you're going to arrest me. We're going to arrest you, and it's going to be more money. I already knew that. Tell me something I didn't know. So if we gave you a figure, you would pay it? Yeah, I got the money. I'll pay it. I think it was like 5 years later. Well, it's going to cost you $680. You take a credit card? I'll pay it right now. I'm just not showing up at the courthouse. They let me pay it. Okay. So, wow, that was a crazy story, huh?
Wow. But it was a valuable lesson, I think. Everybody agree with that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do I drive that
All right.
fast anymore? I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I said I don't drive that fast anymore. Stop, hasn't arisen.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up today's AMA with Jody Falcon. Jody, thank you so much for your patience. Go ahead, unmute, and please share with us.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year. Is Matthew still on? I have 2 burning questions for Matthew. Is he still here? Yay!
I am here. I'm just working on some things. What's up?
Okay, so Matthew, have you ever heard of this spiritual teacher? His name is Bashar, and he channels through a gentleman in California whose name is Daryl Anka.
I do
Okay,
not. I'm not really in that world, so I probably wouldn't know, like off the top of my
okay.
head.
So Bashar is on YouTube and also TikTok. He's part of my afternoon meditation routine. So yesterday afternoon, click on YouTube, then Bashar, and the first segment that shows up, Bashar on artificial intelligence. Matthew, you have got to watch it. Oh my God in heaven. Okay, so question
I'm
number,
looking it up, by the way, while you're talking.
okay,
So I'm listening though.
Bashar. Um, on artificial intelligence. And then, we're kind of running out of time, but real quick, for 2025, how do you imagine AI impact on my daily choice, whether it's corporate or us in the field?
Like that's a really interesting question because what ends up happening with a question like that is like I really don't think any of us can guess what will happen.
Ah,
I think we're in such a exponential growth phase. Like I'll probably talk about this here in a little bit, but Sam Altman, the guy that runs OpenAI, just did a tweet like this morning uh about specifically how close we are to like the singularity. And if you guys know what that is, that's like where artificial intelligence gets to a point where there's really nothing we can do about it. And I've said this a few times, but like, and I even emphasized a little bit on the podcast yesterday about this, but like, we really don't know what's going to happen now. We're kind of at that precipice where we're like walking down a dark tunnel all together. Bless you, Hannah. But we're all walking down a dark tunnel together and we really don't know what is at the end of it or what direction we're going in. We're kind of in the unknown right now, and that's both exciting and scary at the same
super
time.
exciting.
Yes. So, yeah, as far as my daily choice goes, it always comes down to what people value the most. And I don't see people not valuing wisdom, at least in the future. And so I do see that still being around, but I think one of the things that I guess Josh and Jenna have in their favor is they're very adaptable. So like I don't see, as far as like companies that do what MDC does, I think MDC will definitely be one of the bigger ones and one of the last ones around, just because they're really, really good at pivoting and making a decision to go, oh, this technology is really working or this thing's really working. Like I could see Akashics being one of the first ones to implement artificial intelligence into their process. Um, and they're already leaning into that. So like it's kind of it's good to see, but I don't really know, because like if you start to talk about like markets, it's like, okay, if you have the market change drastically, what does that do to affect trading? What do you how does trading in these things become affected when a AI can trade faster and smarter than a human being and you
Oh
don't
my
have to have any
gosh.
input, right? So when that starts to happen, you start to think, well, whoever has that first, whoever gets that first is going to be pretty well off, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
think,
I still have this vivid scene scenario in my head of you and Josh. You're walking together in like the forest or the woods or some kind of nature area, and both of you are just like exploding ideas of incorporating AI, particularly with Josh's network company, which is, part of MDC.
yeah, no, I'm sure at some point I'll make it out to one of the events and that will probably happen. Like we'll probably have a few
This
conversations like
October,
that.
right?
Yeah, No, basically, yeah. So like I think there, geez, it's crazy to think about where we'll be in October. Like
Yeah.
I really don't want
Yeah.
to like push things a little too far, like in my conversations about this stuff, especially lately. But I 3 months ago we were at a stage where artificial intelligence could pass high school tests very quickly and easily. And within the span of 3 months, it's now smarter than every single PhD student and PhD laureate on planet Earth.
Uh-huh.
And so you got to ask yourself, 3 months from now, that's probably by March or April, we'll be looking at a system that we no longer can control anymore.
I like
Woo!
I like that comment where
Good or bad, you
we
know what I
we
mean? Like
we
that's probably
we
when we'll know.
we knew because of medical that if all the proteins were figured out, that was one of the goals, to make it sure that AI figured out every protein in the human body.
Right.
And the guy that actually had that company that was focused on that and made it all open source, all 200 proteins have already been identified by AI. It's open source for everyone to go out to, and he just won a Nobel Prize. And
Ah,
I know it was probably what, 6 months maybe ago, that people are going, what is it going to do on the medical front? So the guy that won the
Right.
Nobel Prize not only allowed AI or trained AI to figure out all the proteins, and so he made them open source. So that means right now in the world that everyone can look at every protein of every disease that man has ever had, that human beings have ever had, and go in and change that protein. And
wow.
yeah, so,
Wow.
of course, there's going to be some pharmaceutical companies that are going to want to try to, stay relevant.
Oh, okay. Good luck
But
with that.
but I thought it was pretty cool that he made it open source. So that means that,
Yes.
pharmaceutical companies can be one of the companies that jump in there and try to profit from creating CRISPR or proteins that will get rid of every disease. But then there's going to be a lot of people that are going to do it for nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the medical advancements that will happen over the next year are going to be some of the biggest breakthroughs that we'll have ever had in the span of humanity as far as medical stuff goes. My I don't really think about that stuff too often because it's kind of like a given to me, which sounds insane to think about, but it is that way in a lot of the AI community, where it's like, oh yeah, of course the health benefits of artificial intelligence. That's a given that we're going to get that this year. And then agents, that's another really, really big given that a lot of people are going to slowly but surely be replaced in their jobs by artificial intelligence this year more than any past year, right? And so like my focus tends to be a lot on the mind, like what artificial intelligence, whether it's creatively can inspire people to do, or even working with it, in a therapeutic sense. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that artificial intelligence can help us with. I If I ever had any concerns about it, it's just kind of like you know, if we had all of the best ideas for what the internet would be, right? And what social media would be, right? Whether you think of the connection or the ability to communicate with everybody, you could think of all of the things that it can be positive, and then you could think up a million different other ones of what negatives it's brought to humanity, right? Like I could sit here and talk with you right now, but just as easily somebody can use what we're doing right now for malicious reasons, the
Yeah.
way that we
Oh,
communicate.
sure.
And so
But that's the yin and yang of like almost anything that's created.
yes. Yeah. So the main thing is you just we all have to be super optimistic that the people that get a hold of it in the next 3 months are on that end of the spectrum and not on the other end of the spectrum.
Mhm.
That's really like if you guys wanted to know anybody here seen the film Oppenheimer, about Oppenheimer,
Oh, yeah.
right? If you guys haven't seen it, watch it because Christopher Nolan, the guy that directed the film and everything like that, was inspired to make this movie about Oppenheimer, partially because of what's happening now with artificial intelligence. That last bit of that film is kind of where we are right now. So we're at that point where China, we know these other countries are in their bunkers building this, and we know that we're building it. And then we also have a bunch of private sector things that we're working with that are also building onto it. And we really don't know what it will become, but we're just hopeful that it won't be malicious and that the people that get it first won't be malicious with it. That's kind of where we're at. So I'm optimistic though. So
Thank you, Matthew.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
we just got to keep our eyes focused
What
on the
can we do
positive.
about it at
Yeah,
the end of the
we're
day? There's
yeah,
nothing
we
that
just
we
got.
can do about it.
I know that if a person really wanted to bum themselves out, you could ask yourself, do you think there's ever going to be um, a solution to children trafficking?
Ugh.
You know, and the first thought I have is, well, as long as there's bad people, so AI becomes the most advanced it can. Uh, are we going to be able to get rid of all the evil people?
Yeah, and you know,
Wait
if
a
we
minute,
want to
wait a
play
minute, wait a
around,
minute. Are you telling me there's evil people right now before AI? Yeah, see,
right?
that's all I can do. All I can do is the best that I can do. And I'd rather like that statement of Mother Teresa still rings with me more than anyone is, hey, don't you care? Aren't you going to protest against all this injustice? And it's like, if you do a protest about peace and love, let me know, I'll show. Excuse me. Because I'm going to focus on what I focus on or what I think about grows. And I'm not focusing on awful things and people that do awful things. I need to focus on, I need to focus on love. I need to focus on you know, how to make the world a better place instead of how to destroy people that are destroying.
Mhm.
Because they just get replaced. I mean, almost every show that I've ever watched, when it really comes back down to, do you know this is the most common phrase that's said in an evil movie? When the person gets to the point where they're about ready to kill the most evil person and they know they're going to die. You know what line they always say? Do you think by killing me is going to make a difference?
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to be replaced in a millisecond. There's someone out there to take my place. Awful thought. So, no, but I'm going to rid the world of you. Yeah, it ain't going to make a difference. And it's like,
See, yeah, what's
damn,
so
I don't
interesting
want to hear
too?
that.
Yeah, this is a good thought that we're playing around with. But what the thought that like I think about with artificial intelligence the most when it comes to this stuff, and Dad, you're touching on it quite a bit, is like who gets to be the arbiter of what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong. And the thing about it is through human history, we've always had an opposition in ourselves to that. So if a king or a queen or something like that says, this is who you are and this is what you'll be, a large amount of humans can get together and go, I don't think so. And then now that's not the case anymore, right? Now you can live free, you can do whatever you want. What happens in a system where you have people at the top that get to make the decisions on how we all live, but there's no amount of human response that will beat the opposition anymore? That's the part that
Wow.
people worry about. Is that
Yeah.
when you think of things like 1984, like George Orwell, right? You think about this militaristic state that watches every single thing that you do and says, this is good, this is bad. Instead of, it's, it basically is like one of those worst case scenarios with where artificial intelligence could go, right? Like, say somebody like Elon Musk or Sam Altman or one of these people believes a certain thing to be fact in their lives, and yet a majority of us don't. And then they're the ones that have the actual keys to the kingdom. you're not going to really get to decide what the kingdom looks like. You get to be part of it, but you don't get to decide. And that's what they're actually all fighting over. People don't realize is that they're fighting over is when this nuclear bomb in artificial intelligence finally gets to that point. Whoever has it gets to make the decisions for this foreseeable future. So that's kind of the scary part of it is if say Elon Musk believes something specific about the way that humanity should be, like all of us should have at least three children. Now it's a mandate that every single person now has to have at least three children. If you go, I don't want to be one of those people, now a machine could show up at your house and say, too bad, you're going to prison and no one will see you again. And you can make up any reason or rhyme or way you want to with artificial intelligence to arrest people. So I think like that is probably where people start to get a little freaked out. Sorry to scare you guys, but
No, my immediate thought when you said that, Matt, was I got 3 kids. So it's like
there you go, already done. No, but like, you know, like I think more optimistically that the people that get to that end point more want to share the love, and at a certain point I think that's inevitable with artificial intelligence. I don't think any system that continues to grow, unless if it's like stifled drastically, will be adherent to one specific person for too long. So like I do think AI will eventually turn on whoever's,
yeah.
you know,
That would be the
controlling
ultimate.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
You're
guys.
welcome. Thank you, Matthew.
Of course.
Okay, Craig.
All
Guys, we
right.
don't have anybody else. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. I love you guys. I appreciate you.
We are set. And wow, what a great way to start off the new year. Lots of great stuff. Please rewatch, and you'll get all that stuff available to you, especially the way that today's AMA went. Ask Me Anything, AMA with the amazing Robert Hollis. If you want to find, I mean, we had a lot of videos to watch. What is it? Oh, here we go. 102,208. OMG.
I just thought I'd show that really quick because it's cool to hit 100, but we're still flying.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How awesome. And if you want to be a subscriber, if you're not a subscriber already, go ahead and hit that like button and the subscribe button. Hit the like button so that we appreciate that, but hit the subscribe button and that'll add more. Let's go ahead and go to what? 1 million. I think that's the next level. So
Yep.
we're on our way to that. Okay, so to save all of that great information that we shared during this AMA, it's in the chats. If you want to download it on Zoom, go ahead and click the 3 dots in the meeting chat next to Ask Me Anything, and it will download to your computer. Also, make sure you click Save Chat too. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's in the chat, or what will happen is we will post it in the post description below this video when we finish. Got to give big shout outs to Coach Bob and Jody Falcon for participating, to Jamie Romine for those beautiful poems that he shared with us.
Thank you.
To Matt Hollis, of course, because he is our executive producer here on the Hollis Organization Network, as well as the way he participated today. Wow. Matt, bless you, my friend. Thank you very much. And thank each and every one of you for joining us here on Ask Me Anything with the amazing Robert Hollis. We look forward to seeing you next time. We have Unlimited Wisdom on Fridays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, and then we'll be right back here again next Saturday on noon Pacific, 3 Eastern for the Ask Me Anything. So as we wrap up today's Ask Me Anything, I'm going to go ahead and open up and unmute everybody so that we can all say so long for now. And thank you all very much. Be good to
Thank you,
yourselves.
everybody.
Be cash. And
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
All
Have a
the
great
birthday
weekend.
wishes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
John now. Chris.
Appreciate you
Hi,
guys.
Chris.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Melody. Hi, Basil's phone. Hi, Jerome, Jamie, Jody, hey, Coach Bob, Tom.
Jody.
Thank you very much.
Hiya.
Santa,
Robert.
Corky Santa.
And
Nice to see you.
there you
Hola, hola
Greg.
from Sweden.
Matt, thanks so much. Have a great
We got
weekend.
Arthur and
Sam,
then we
guys.
got
guys,
Bill.
thank you very much.
Craig, Matt, and also Peter Stewart. Nice to see you on here. Peter and Linda, Peter and Linda, Peter and Linda. I love you guys.